Welcome to part 5 of the Digital World, Satan's Counterfeit of the Spiritual Realm series. In the previous module, we explored the spiritual mechanics behind digital deception, identifying the spirits and forces that manipulate attention, desire, and emotion. Now, we'll examine the real-world consequences of these influences. Digital compromise isn't just spiritual, it manifests physically, mentally, emotionally, and behaviorally, often without immediate awareness. Understanding these effects is essential for kingdom intelligence and strategic intervention. Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Neglecting spiritual and mental health allows negative patterns to manifest in body, mind, and behavior. Attention hijacking, continuous notifications, feeds, and algorithmic reinforcement reduce focus and decision-making capacity. Cognitive fatigue, constant digital engagement overloads working memory, reduces critical thinking, and impairs problem solving. Distorted perception. Social comparison and curated content reshape priorities, values, and self-perception. Dopamine-driven feedback loops make disengagement difficult. Reprogramming reward pathways and prioritizing superficial validation over spiritual or cognitive growth. Studies show heavy social media users exhibit higher levels of anxiety, attention deficits, and reduced academic or professional performance, illustrating mental compromise. Romans 12:2 Failure to renew the mind leads to conformity to deceptive patterns. Whether in the physical or digital realms, anxiety and fear. Sensationalized content, news cycles, and comparison trigger fight-or-flight responses. Depression and envy. Exposure to curated lives and material success creates dissatisfaction and emotional imbalance. Compulsive behavior. Desire for likes, shares, or affirmation drives repetitive engagement, creating emotional dependency. Emotions like pride, envy, or lust, amplified digitally, erode spiritual discernment over time. Users report doom scrolling, consuming alarming or negative content continuously, heightening stress while creating a false sense of necessity or urgency. Eve's desire was manipulated. Genesis 3-6. Digital exposure manipulates emotion in a similar fashion, subtle, incremental, and cumulative. Physical consequences. Sleep disruption, blue light exposure, late night scrolling, and cognitive stimulation interfere with circadian rhythms. Fatigue and reduced energy. Continuous engagement drains physical reserves, affecting productivity and vitality. Sedentary behavior. Excessive screen time correlates with inactivity, weight gain, and cardiovascular stress. Stress responses. Frequent exposure to emotionally charged content spikes cortisol and adrenaline, increasing physical wear and tear. Chronic digital engagement can create a physiological state similar to chronic stress or mild trauma, weakening immune and cognitive systems. 1 Corinthians 6:19-20. Your body is a temple. Neglect or compromise of physical health creates vulnerability for spiritual and behavioral manipulation. Compulsive engagement. Checking apps, notifications, and feeds repeatedly. Shifted priorities. Time, attention, and emotional energy are redirected from spiritual growth, relationships, and productive activities to digital consumption. Moral and spiritual drift. Repeated exposure to compromising content. Lust, pride, envy gradually reshapes values and decision-making. Social isolation or false connection. Digital communities mimic relationships but often lack accountability, intimacy, or support. Many users spend hours in online communities that provide temporary fulfillment, yet leave relational and spiritual needs unaddressed. Judas Iscariot's gradual compromise. Luke 22:3-6 demonstrates that repeated exposure, unchecked desire, and small allowances lead to major behavioral consequences. Small, daily compromises accumulate, creating behavioral patterns and habitual vulnerabilities. Digital content manipulates attention, emotion, and desire, leading to distracted decision-making, misaligned priorities. Spiritual compromise without conscious awareness. Technological analogy, just like a slow-acting malware. Small digital intrusions accumulate to create major systemic compromise over time. A teenager begins by innocently following trends, then gradually adopts attitudes, habits, and desires inconsistent with spiritual principles, illustrating cumulative influence. Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Exposure patterns in youth or adulthood have long-term impact. Awareness of consequences is the first step in kingdom intervention. Practical tools for restoration: digital hygiene, limit notifications, curate content, and schedule intentional offline time. Spiritual hygiene: prayer, scripture intake, fasting, and accountability partners. Behavioral reset: replace compulsive habits with productive, spiritually aligned routines. Mindfulness and reflection: regular self-assessment of emotional, mental, and behavioral patterns. Psalm 51:10, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Restoration involves renewing mind, body, and spirit simultaneously. Begin evaluating your digital habits today. Track mental, emotional, and physical responses to digital engagement. Identify areas of compromise and implement kingdom-aligned practices for restoration.